On Friday, former President Donald Trump put out his most clear-cut threat on social media, taking, of course, to his own platform.
Truth essential.
He put out this threat. You take a look. What kind of person can charge another person, in this case, a former president of the United States, who got more votes, but okay, I don't really care about how many votes. Whatever, you still lost. How can they charge him with a crime when it's known by all, no, it's not, that no crime has been committed? Hey, why don't we let that get adjudicated? When it's, and also known that potential death and destruction in such a false charge could be catastrophic for our country. Why and who would do such a thing? Only a degenerate psychopath that truly hates the USA. He then added,
USA, USA, USA.
Okay, so now, look, potential death and destruction. That is a clear threat. Basically, he's telling us that in case that unless this case is dropped in Manhattan, this is, of course, dealing with the $130,000 hush money payment made to Stormy Daniels, his fans are going to do death and destruction. And certainly there is a concern for that. He doesn't necessarily know for sure, but apparently he believes that enough of his fans are violent enough that, and certainly we did see some evidence of that on January 6th, that, you know, if he is charged, that they will do death and destruction. To kind of hammer that point home, just, you know, breaking news here. According to ABC News, a letter containing a mystery white powdery substance was mailed to Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg with the note that said, "Alvin, I'm going to kill you," in it. So, look, that is a threat. That is a clear threat to Mr. Bragg. Now, in that post, you saw that he didn't use, you know, that Alvin Bragg's name, just referring to him as a quote-unquote degenerate psychopath that hates the USA. Donald Trump is not the USA. Okay. Let me just note that this guy is such a narcissist that he thinks, no, I'm the country. No. Now, that said, that was on Friday. Thursday, he actually did go after Bragg by name. In fact, here's what he said, quote, this is all caps. "Why won't Bragg drop this case? Everybody says there's no crime here. I did nothing wrong. It was all made up by a convicted nut job with zero credibility." Wait a minute. That's the same convicted nut job that you hired and employed for many years. Very, very close associate. And he also lied on your behalf. No, zero credibility. Who has been disputed by highly respected professionals at every turn. What is it? People like Alan Dershowitz? Oh, yes, highly respected. Yes. He then continues, "Bragg refuses to stop despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary." I haven't seen any of that. Nobody's seen any of that. We don't know exactly what the grand jury has seen. Then he added, "He is a Soros-backed animal who just doesn't care about right or wrong, no matter how many people are hurt. This is no legal system. This is the Gestapo." I don't want to have to do it.
Nancy Pelosi's gazpacho police.
This is Russia and China, but worse, disgraceful. All right, so look, I don't think that I should have to point out that calling a black man an animal has, well, it's racist, of course. But there's a lot here, and you might miss it. The anti-Semitism, very clearly obvious, saying that Alvin Bragg is, or implying, I'm sorry, that Alvin Bragg is a puppet of the radical left, or again, George Soros, right? Because that's the right-wing attack. Oh, he's George Soros funded. And that's why he's going after Donald Trump. Which in reality, he's actually not going at. Look, there's no arrest, no indictment, not yet. Oh, okay, but anyway, there's more. He adds this. Everybody knows I'm 100% innocent, really, including Bragg, but he doesn't care. He's just carrying out the plans of the radical left lunatics. Our country is being destroyed as they tell us to be peaceful. We're not telling you to be peaceful. Your own people are telling you to be peaceful. No, but look, he's basically saying, "Hey, watch out! If you indict me, my fans won't be peaceful. They will do violence. They will do death and destruction." Again, yeah, that is a clear-cut threat. Now, my question is it an empty one? Well, I think mostly. Aside from the nut job that sent Alvin Bragg that suspicious envelope with that very, very clear threat. And by the way, the other threats that have been lobbed at his office. Yeah. That said, I have talked about Trump supporters not wanting to show up to protests. And when they do, well, they've been very suspicious of Fed infiltrators. So, as a result, either they don't show up or they show up in very small numbers and they suspiciously eye each other. Now, why is that happening? Why are they afraid of the feds? Well, not only the fact that they're conspiracy theorists, of course, but it does turn out that prosecuting them for January 6th, for the last time that Trump supporters got out of hand, well, that sent a message. But I think secondly, and I think this is a little bit more relevant, at least for the broader, Republican base, the ones who showed up and fought for Trump, they were left hanging. He just basically left them swinging in the wind. All right? He didn't pay their legal bills. He raised all this money to help, the rioters. Or, ostensibly. That's what he claimed to do. I'm going to help pay the legal bills for these people and to fight for election defense, to challenge the election. No, he took all that money and put it in his pocket. And so there's a lot of MAGA guys who generally agree with Donald Trump and think, oh yeah, no, I want him to be the next president or whatever, or I think it does such great things for the country. But they're like, I ain't going to jail for you. No. I'll vote for you, but I don't go to prison for you. No, hell no. Now, in that case, for those people, wonderful. I got no problem with you guys. I don't want violence. Nobody wants violence. Well, except for Donald Trump, apparently. Calling for violence while also not calling for violence explicitly. But look, a number of other Trump allies have also said, hey, whoa, no violence, which is great. Remain peaceful. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Rudy Giuliani, they've all said, hey, let's not get violent. And again, I agree with that. Great. Now, so that said, right, with all of that, I do think that mainly makes these threats empty. Look, last Saturday, when Trump called for mass protests and claimed that he would be arrested on Tuesday, which again didn't happen and will likely never happen, let's keep it real, he actually betrayed his real purpose for this. And that's fundraising emails. Here's what one of them partly read. The Trump for President 2024 campaign is compiling millions and millions of petition signatures from Americans like you condemning these threats of a possible arrest. Which again, were not threats of a possible arrest. He just put that out there and said, I'm going to be arrested on Tuesday. When Bragg said no such thing. When nobody said any such thing. Doesn't matter. Now, once supporters clicked on a petition link, they were asked to donate up to $3,300 to help Trump's 2024 re-election campaign. And guess what? Worked. You know how much he raised? $1.5 million from small donors over 3 days. Just a 3-day period. Huh, interesting. Look, Trump's 2024 campaign confirmed the sum to Fox News and the Washington Post, citing an anonymous source familiar with the matter, also reported the same amount raised in a similar time frame. So the resulting average of $500,000 a day is almost double the daily average from the weeks before and after he announced his bid for the White House in November. So what I'm seeing here is that it's just a gimmick. It's all marketing. Trump knows his audience. One of the things that he has a natural skill for, and I'll give it to him on this one, okay? He's a salesman. He knows how to work his audience. He knows how to work the fans. He knows what's going to trigger them. And again, there's a lot of Republican voters that are just waiting to get triggered. So he comes out there and he says something that's obviously not true. I'm going to get arrested on Tuesday, which again, we don't know. We still don't know. We don't even know if there's going to be an indictment. It's very likely that there will not be in this case. It doesn't matter. He goes out and says it and then says, give me money. Just give me money. And they do. And they do. He knows. He's was a grifter in chief. Now, that said, his gimmick does have a dangerous side, as we just reported with Alvin Bragg. So this doesn't mean that it's not dangerous what he is doing. But again, this involves, well, it puts other people in danger. And Trump's totally fine with that. Look, all it takes is one unhinged lunatic in order to harm a lot of people. That's why you have to be really careful what you put out there. But again, Donald Trump doesn't care. Donald Trump's main focus is Donald Trump. And really, it's about him trying to raise money for his campaign, for himself. Is there a little bit of fear that he might get indicted? I don't know. Okay, maybe. Could this also be a way to intimidate Bragg? Maybe. Did it have an effect? I think so. If that's the case. And it might have worked. I mean, we saw that the NYPD had put up massive amounts of security before Tuesday. And now we've learned that Bragg has delayed the case until next week, the hearing. Now he's working on other things. So they're not even going to make a decision this week. Look, as I told you before, earlier this week, I'd been skeptical of Donald Trump being indicted when it comes to this. And I'm still in the camp, which I'm sure a lot of you are, of I'll believe it when I see it.